Hey, good evening, everyone. So, welcome to Sunday night coffee talk. I see that Carrie is here with lots and lots of jokes. Lisa's here. Attila, our awesome moderator, and Air Frying Andy, our other awesome moderator, is here. And the warden is here. Oh, typing one hand while making ginger snaps. Ooh, hey, we're compatible this evening because I'm also using ginger. And Mary T, who just poured a cup of coffee and took the cake out of the oven. For those of you who didn't know, Mary's making a lemon cake with raspberries, and I am looking forward to hearing more about that. So good to see you, though, Mary. It's been a while. And Barely Begun is here, and Marion has joined us. So nice. So let's see. I did laugh, Carrie. I always laugh at your jokes. They're the right dad jokes for my humor. So, hey, good evening. Gigi's here, and Sharon. Nice to see you. So, I'm gonna start making my tea, and I've got a whole bunch today to talk to you about. So we'll get to the tea facts. This is the Lapsang Souchong red tea. We've talked about red tea before and about how red tea is what they call it in China, and in the United States it's black tea. The Lapsang, see, I said I was going to make my tea and talk to you later, but I'm going to tell you it smells lovely. That the Lapsang Souchong tea is, it is a red tea. It is from the Wuyi mountain region of Fujian. And from there, it's also, we've talked about it, black teas, red teas getting dried, or all kinds of. The Lapsang Souchong is a roasted tea. And so I kind of wish that you could see it on the camera. I don't know that you'll be able to, but I'll bring some up. Because it's roasted, let's see, maybe 50-50. Well, so you can see the leaves. They are pretty slender. They'll bloom up just like usual, but they get like almost shiny after being roasted. And so we're going to do the normal thing that we do, where we're going to bloom our tea leaves with a quick wash. I've got this is a high temperature brewing tea as well. So it's 212 degrees boiling water. And we'll just keep our water at temperature. So, yes, just double checking there. So let's see, what do we got here? So, hey, Rickwin, it's nice to see you as well. I love seeing all the hellos back and forth. Let's see. Oh, Marion used her new smoker for the first time today, made smoked chicken wings. That sounds good. I haven't had chicken wings in a while. I feel like that's something that maybe I should be checking out soon. Ooh, there's an idea for our trip to the cabins. Maybe we should take some chicken wings and cook them up ahead of time, and then we can just warm them up in the oven. The cabin has an oven, but no microwave. So we have to make sure that everything that we take to eat to the cabin is presentable. Alright, so just as per usual, we discard that first pour, make sure there's no bitters, and we get it going. So, and you'll see it's because you bloom the tea, it immediately starts brewing, and we only need it to brew for a couple minutes. But I'll tell you, I am so ready for tea. Like, I don't know, it's really, really warm in our kitchen, but in the living room where I was sitting in my chair, I was just like absolutely freezing. So, why don't you guys tell me? I know that the weather is all across the board, and we have a lot of people from a lot of different regions. I know that's like a weird cliche to talk about, but I'm really curious. What's it like where you're at? It is really variable right now here in Ohio where I am. It's like, it's not that bad during the day, but it's dipping down at night, and it's struggling between hot and cold. So, alright, so you can see the tea is already really dark golden. So it doesn't take long to brew. Carrie says that he's only got 49 days left, and then he'll hit his 2 years with the no coffee and caffeine. Wow. Okay, and Lisa's is in Austin, and they're in the 60s. Man, I wish we were in the 60s. If we were in the 60s, I would be outside on the bike. I would be complaining about it being cold on the bike, but I would still be outside. Oh, and Air Fried Annie says it's been really cold at night in California, the lower 30s on and off. Wow, and in Napa Valley, I mean, I know it gets cold there, but that seems like colder than usual. So let's see. Wild tea brews. I gave you some facts there about it. The other thing about that tea is that you should know that it has a lot of history, and so when we can talk about that because there's some fun facts about it. But in this bowl, we're going to talk about cookies. This is a full stick of butter, and these cookies I'm put in the recipe, but I want you to know I have not tested this recipe. This is completely winging it within a curve. This recipe is based off of a cookie recipe that Amy Snyder posted. Hers was a chai latte snickerdoodle using chai latte ketochow. But I like my cookies very spicy, and also I have really gotten away from sweet. Like, I do enjoy ketochow, but like I know a lot of people need to add a little more sweetener to it or other things, and for me, ketochow is super sweet, which is why the creamy, where it subdues down, I don't have to add any extra sweet to it. So our desserts and stuff, if I make a cheesecake, I use like a quarter of the amount of sweetener of what everybody else uses. So I watched her recipe, and she used a granular sweetener is what she said, but when I saw the video, it was definitely chunkier than allulose, so I'm pretty sure that it was probably an erythritol blend, which is definitely sweeter than allulose. Also, erythritol will get more crispy than allulose. Allulose really softens things, so I suspect that these will still cookify. Is that, I'm making words up? But I think that it may become more cake-like. It's possible that they may be like super soft, and they might fail, in which case we know I'll experiment a couple more times and we'll circle back around to it. But also, she only used cinnamon and the sweetener to roll them in, and I'm like, I want to be punched in the face with these little spicy cookies that I'm gonna make. So we're gonna start with our butter, and if you are not on YouTube, I use an electric mixer. I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna use a hand whisk while we chat. So let's see. I'm gonna start by creaming my butter and my allulose together. And my butter is indeed quite soft, but it is also taking its sweet time to break down a little bit here. So it'll take me a bit to whisk it away. So the other thing I'm going to do this evening is I got my keto crate in the mail, and I usually unbox it going live, but there have been so many lives and so much on the schedule lately that I think we can just unbox it tonight. That way we don't have to wait. Okay, so it's coming together. You can see all my sugar, and I'm just gonna tap this out of the whisk and give it a couple more go rounds. Find that I might need a spoon to poke it out a little bit, but it definitely has all mixed together. See? That's the problem with using this whisk, and because my harder whisk broke, I'm using my softer one. I probably just need to get myself a new whisk. So watch me struggle there. There you go. So now you can see all cream, it's lightened up a little bit. And yes, I used softened, salted butter. So I'm not adding any salt to my recipe. The YouTube? I don't know, it was a Facebook reel, I think, actually, from Amy Snyder. Didn't say to add salt, so I assume she also used salted butter. If I use salted butter in a dessert recipe, then I don't add additional salt to it. And Lisa says cookies that start off with a whole stick of butter are her kind of cookies. I agree. Now I'll also say that in her Facebook reel or YouTube short, whichever one it was that I was watching, she used a half a stick and 1 packet. So I'm essentially doubling it because I figure we'll make a dozen cookies. The next step is for me to get these eggs in here, and I think it would be better if they were room temperature, but as I waited too long, so I put 2 eggs in here, and now it's going to be very liquidy and lumpy, which is fine because that's what hers looked like on the video. She was using an electric mixer, so I'm fine with that. It turns out they probably don't have to be super crazy mixed. Now hers were a little smaller chunks than mine are right now, so we'll just keep going. Oh, Mary says, yes, dear Santa, a radical geek needs new whisks. Just different whisk. I love my balloon whisk, but because it's this soft, flexible, silicone coated one, I've had some that have like a chunkier that's sort of like a cross between the whisk and the pastry cutter, and I loved it, but it split and one of the tongs finally sprung away. I was so annoyed because it was literally one of my favorites. But I'll catch another one. So let's see. Oh, Mama Bear Lynette, hey, good to see you. Excited she gets to join us this evening, but will mostly be listening because she's feeding her kiddo. Hey, that's the most important part, taking care of our kiddos. All right, so I will say that my butter and egg mixture and sweetener mixture looks basically like hers did in the video, so I'm happy about that. Just gonna give it a little bit of a sturdier, another go round, make sure that there's no butter glued to the side. Ah, my arm. Good exercise, right? The next thing we have to add is the baking powder. And I'm going to add this before I add my keto chow. A whole teaspoon. That's kind of a lot of baking powder, but that's probably what makes the cookies fluffy, because her cookies look like they spread out and got fluffy. So also, let's take my tea out before it gets too strong and bitter. I can't get the little wire, you guys. So, oh, Mama Bear Lynette's asking me to repeat what kind of cookies I'm making. I don't know, some kind of keto chow cookies that I saw on the internet and then immediately didn't even try them out, and so I'm making up a recipe that I put in the description, and we're gonna cross our fingers. So I'm making a keto chow spiced cookie using gingerbread keto chow. That's what I'm making. So I'm really hoping that they work out, because I'll be sad if they don't. Let me give this the baking powder a mix in so it has some time to start activating. Oh, Carrie got, oh, I'm sorry, Carrie. You know, keep trying though, because what's happening right now is there's a recession happening, and so jobs are really competitive, and so they probably had like, you know, 30 people apply, and the fact that you made it into the interview process at all is pretty outstanding. So, you know, don't read nothing into it. I mean, I've been in my job for over a decade and we all thought we were basically set for life, and recently just got the news that they've decided to cancel our entire program and several departments. And so we're trying to find new jobs within the company, and if we can't find a new job within the company at the end of January, we are laid off. So let me tell you, if there's an open position, qualified for it or not, I am applying. So wish me luck. Now, all right, so I've got my 2 packets of keto chow. Yeah, thanks Mama Bear Lynette. They do sound good to me. I really like a lot of spice though, so that's why. And you know, the chai latte was really, really very gently flavored for me. So I wanted stuff that was something that was a little bit sturdier. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of the whisk and switch to the spatula now. Thanks Joe and Carrie. I appreciate that. And Mary's agreeing that the only thing that might be is that they might be quite soft from the allulose. And that's exactly what I was thinking, is that they might wind up very soft. But you know what? That's all right, because if they're really soft, the worst case is that we smush it back into a ball and just eat them like, I don't know, like cookie dough balls. Sounds all right to me, right? But I can tell you that this is definitely thickening up, because that's actually, you know, for cookies, that's quite a lot of keto chow, two servings. So, and I have a lot of gingerbread keto chow, so it doesn't bother me to use it as much as stuff that might be lower in stock in our pantry. So, it's definitely making a nice dough, so that's good news. And Air Fry Nanny says that she has high hopes because I do have a good reputation with my company. I do. And everybody keeps telling me not to worry. And I told them, there's a good part of me that trusts you for saying that. Don't worry that I have a great reputation. But any human would absolutely worry. Like, it's just normal to worry. So, but I am applying, and I've applied for some pretty awesome positions so far. So I'm really hoping that one of them comes out, and we'll just see. If not, well, we'll figure it out from there. So, Carrie says that I use that much since I know the gingerbread man. By the way, in the recipe that I put in there, I have also over here 2 tablespoons of allulose, and then all of the extra spices. I use some Chinese five spice, cinnamon, and powdered ginger. So like I really went all out to on the spices here. I love Chinese five spice, so I was definitely on board with that. All right, I'm gonna bring this up so you can see the consistency of the dough, and it does look like the right consistency. So you can see it's a really thick batter. And what I have here now is a small cookie scoop. Let me get my cookie sheet with the parchment on it, so that we have some place to put our cookies. And, oh, thank you, Barely Begun. And I said that this made a dozen. It might make 10. I don't know. So the other thing to for you guys to be aware is that is that each cookie, I put all of the ingredients into Chronometer. And let's be honest, it's going to be, you're going to have to really plan for these cookies, because each cookie has 8 total carbs. 6 of those carbs are allulose, and 1.3 is fiber. So do with that what you will. If you're a net carb person, it's very low. If you're a person who subtracts allulose, it's still quite low. But I actually just planned in my food today that I knew I was going to eat 16 carbs worth of cookies and have 2 cookies tonight. So again, it's one of those things, careful planning. And actually my food was great today, because I started off my day with a keto chow butterscotch pudding that I made with beef tallow and beef gelatin. And after that, then I also watched for a video coming out on Tuesday. Ate a meal of my pork tenderloin with sauerkraut and chayote. So you know, I also had an egg life wrap on the side there, all crisped up. So it's not like you know, and even with all of that food, you know, the sauerkraut and stuff, I have plenty. I have all space. Now I eat 30 total carbs a day. I know that people talk about being under 20, but I am at a point in my journey where 30 total is perfect for me. So I'm curious though. I know that people do all sorts of different eating plans. What do you guys do? Are you a keto? If you're following carnivore, if you're carnivore, is there a carb count that you do with your carnivore food plan, or because of dairy, or do you just not worry about it at all? I don't know. I'm just asking questions here. But for like those of you who are keto, do you do net carbs? How do you handle things like this when you have a special treat? I just let's have some conversation here. Oh, and Lisa had butterscotch shake this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think I'm gonna come up with 12 cookies. Just checking my batter here. A couple of them might be smaller. This one I maybe scooped a little too much batter. But also I'm gonna say that my 8 total carbs might be a little bit less because I included this in the recipe. And as you can see, I am not eating all of this. So my first cookie is real small, and then these cookies are real big, so they're not going to cook the same. The warden says she's like keto-biotic, but eats intuitively. Oh, because of the fermented foods. I think that sounds nice, actually. And Mama Bear says she's meat-heavy keto. She tries to keep it under 20 total per day, but sometimes that doesn't happen. But she does really focus on the meat. Guys, I might have enough for 13, probably because my first couple cookies were very small. We'll make it work. Hey, Brenda. Good to see you tonight. So, let's see. But yeah, so like I am keto, and I've been kind of a little bit sloppier on my keto for a while, and I'm just kind of slowly working my way back to being a bit more strict about it, and cookies aside. But like I said, I actually have just made sure that I am thinking about my food and planning around it, as opposed to just freewheely guessing about it. Because I've been keto for a super long time, and it was actually quite shocking to me to enter my intake and find just how far off I really was. Let's see, Carrie says he doesn't do carbs. He had some food from another church and had some meat, and he had black grapes and some nuts, the pistachios and almonds and walnuts. The nuts didn't mess him up. That's great, because nuts are one of those foods that bother a lot of people, and I am fortunate that I can also handle nuts. So, all right, let me wash my hands because I am sticky, and then we'll put the cookies in the oven. So, I'm really interested. I love knowing, and then I'm curious, for those of you sharing your plans, what kind of motivation you have surrounding that. Like, I've shared before that I eat keto because I have a seizure disorder, and the cancer that I have was a glioblastoma with the diagnosis of when it comes back, and honestly, it's been in remission, and actually they can barely even find where it was on my last couple MRIs. So really good going there. All right, so she rolled hers into balls, and then they spread out into cookies. So let's find out what happens. But I've got 13 cookies on this sheet here, and into the oven they go. And we will set the timer for 20 minutes. And we might take a peek here and there along the way just to make sure they don't over brown. Let's see, and Mary says she doesn't count, but she tries to eat as few carbs as possible during the day, almost zero, and she gets her carbs via veggies and a small dessert. Yeah, I'm a big fan of vegetables, as you guys may have noticed from my summer of Asian vegetables. But and treats have become more and more rare. I found that I went for a stretch there where I was having too many treats, lots of treats, and they were probably a little bit of my downfall. And I think something like this, where it's going to be relatively easy for me to parse it out and plan. I can throw them in the freezer if I want to. Just kind of like be more mindful. I find that where I prefer to get my carbs are from the vegetables. I think that that does better for me in the long run. Friday night I was on Cindy DeManchi's channel, and you know, we were having a lot of lag, so it made the conversation really awkward, and we didn't plan ahead like, hey, let's talk about X or Y. So we had some, because of the lag, we had like some awkward silence, and it was like, well, it is what it is. But the conversation that we were able to have turned out to be good, because we went down the path where at one point I had mentioned that while trying BBBE, brought up some disordered eating problems. Like, we talked about all the great stuff with the elimination and following it, and I shared my food, but like, A, I was really hungry all the time, and B, you know, it really led to some of that disordered eating coming back in the form of like binge eating. And a person there said they didn't know how you could do that, and so we had a good conversation about that and what it feels like. And they said, oh, you know, that was a lesson for them to know, because when they are eating meat, they hit that wall. And I was like, yeah, no, that doesn't happen to me. There's no wall. My wall is writing it down on a paper so that I can pay enough attention, because, you know, 4 ounces of ground beef, 16 ounces of ground beef, it's the same. So, you know, and that's not something that's for everyone. Certain people just have different needs. See how Carrie says he forgot his mug of water on the roof of the car when he was on his way to church this morning. So the mug was in the yard, safe and waiting for him. That's awesome. So let's see. I'm excited. I love all of those. I really like that the warden or Shelly. I'm just going to call you Shelly. But Ketobiotic, I love that because, you know, I'm a big fan of fermented foods. That's why we talked about sauerkraut and making hot sauce and making pickles and stuff like that. Hey, Renee, happy Sunday. And, you know, and just speaking of treats, we still get this keto crate. And honestly, the thing is, I love unboxing this and sharing with you guys on YouTube. But I have to say, I'm not 100% that we're going to keep the subscription. I'll let you know if I'm not going to, because I know that that's something that people like, is the unboxing of the keto crate. But we've had conversations here about, first of all, shit's expensive right now, all around. And we're pretty comfortable, but damn. Our groceries, for buying the same groceries compared to what we were paying in like 2018 or so, have almost quadrupled, and technically we're eating less. So it's hard to say what we need to do. And it's not just the money, but also the quality. It's certainly fun to go through these, and it's fun to try things and have different snacks, but it's winter. So, I don't know. I have to really think about it. So, let's slice this open though. I was going to say, I really have to think about it. It's not just the cost, it's the quality. And we've had discussions here in this household about how, you know what, maybe we would be better off not buying the treats. And so we have to really think about it, and but sometimes also, how much deprivation are we going to deal with? Oh, yeah, so that makes sense. So, Barely Begun says sometimes he feels more disordered as keto, at least on the hiding food issues. When he has something off keto, small or big lapse, he doesn't want to confuse friends so that they should offer more non-keto stuff. That's a big deal, actually, and I 100% can understand that. I think that we should talk more about that kind of stuff, the food shame that comes with it and stuff like that. So anyways, let's open this keto crate. I was going to tell you guys, the box felt kind of heavy, so I don't know what it is. Right off the bat, keto wise, and I love to complain about these. These are definitely that whole treat that's real bad for you. Where do we even start? Keto wise, it is a chocolate pecan cluster, and it is 130 calories per serving. A serving size is 2 pieces, so the whole package. Total fat is 11 grams. Protein is 2 grams. 16 total carbs. 12 are fiber, and less than 1 gram of actual sugar. 3 grams of erythritol. And they are advertising themselves as 1 gram net carbs. And Mama Bear Lynette says we should definitely put our family's financial needs ahead of making a YouTube video. Oh, and it's not just financial. I'm just saying also we're not sure that we're getting our value because we're not sure we like eating all of these foods anymore. You know, we don't have you know, a kid living here. So, you know, when we had a kid, it was easy to justify because they would eat that. Let's see. Oh, Renee says she moved in Thanksgiving Day but had to quickly use her home warranty as the front load washer was disgusting and didn't drain. Ooh, nasty. Yeah. You know, and we had our washer get clogged, and yeah, so disgusting. I'm really glad that the home warranty helped take care of that. Anyway, so 16 total carbs, and I want you guys to know that if I feel in this package, it's 2 treats this size. So, and it's double the amount of total carbs of my cookies that we're making here. And does not have the nutritional goodness of the keto chow with the extra vitamins and stuff that are going in there. So let's see. Mary T says keto chow and keto brick are the only 2 manufactured foods she uses. There's too many keto snacks available, and that net carb game is dangerous with those products. Oh, you can stay on your soapbox. That's fine. Like I said, for a lot of people, these things are their survival and the only way that they can stay keto. And I will say, you got to do better. You know what? If you're making choices that are helpful to you and better than the choices you had in the past, you're making progress. So how that happens to help you more in the future is up to you. Let's see, the ingredients though. Prebiotic soluble fiber. Okay, that's fine. Polydextrose, that's not fine. Vegetable oil, that's not fine. Palm kernel, palm oil, no asterisk for being sustainably obtained. Water, glycerin, milk protein concentrate, non-fat dry milk, salted butter, which is made from cream and salt, and then contains less than 2% of soy lecithin, salt blend, prebiotic soluble fiber, erythritol, milk protein isolate, inulin, cocoa, soluble corn fiber, salt, more soy lecithin, stevia, and the very last ingredient is pecans. So honestly, before you eat this, you may as well consider whether it's worth it and whether you just want to have an actual turtle. Just have one real turtle. The ingredients are probably just as the same. Probably not great. Let's see. Gutgo says so. Hunger chews or ginger chews. Well, we'll see how they come out, the cookies. But I like the idea of hunger chews. It kind of sounds cool. Aha! And the warden agrees with me. So let's see. So there's our Keto Wise, and they're calling it a fat bomb, but to be honest, it's not really a ton of fat. Let's see, the warden assures Carrie that she was being careful. Let's see. So now there is this crispy Genius Gourmet crispy protein treat, peanut butter chocolate. Before my injury, we got one of these in our keto crate, and despite the fact that the ingredients were not that terrific, I took it with me on a bike ride, and let me tell you, it was so freaking delicious. But the day I ate it, it was also very melty and didn't hold up well in my pocket, but it was like 100 degrees outside. I had been riding like a crazy person. I had gone far. I was sweating. You know, I had the room for it. But on an average day, let's see, calories 100, total carbs are 10, 6 grams of fiber, total sugars less than 1 gram, sugar alcohols 2, protein is 10, I think I said that, and total fat is 4. So that part is not too bad, you know, 10 total carbs, but let's look at the ingredients. Protein blend of soy protein isolate, milk protein concentrate, dried egg white, whey protein concentrate, polydextrose, water, I have trouble saying this every time it gets me. Fructooligosaccharide. And then vegetable oil, palm kernel, and shea and peanut oil, peanuts, glycerin, soluble corn fiber syrup, peanut butter, actual sugar, rice starch. Oh, I can't eat this in the first place. It's got rice in it, and no wonder things were making me sick all the time. They're hiding rice and stuff, and I have a rice allergy like a weirdo. Calcium carbonate and sucralose and tocopherols. So instead of just 1 or 2 not so great ingredients, this has like most of their ingredients are not ideal ingredients. So here, Dennis says I should check my cookies. All right, I'll check my cookies. They still have 7 minutes, but oh my gosh, you guys. They need more time, but they're ridiculous. I cannot wait for you to see them. I'm going to turn the cookies, actually. Let me just show you here. Check them out. They're ridiculous. They're awesomely large. But they're definitely not cooked, so I don't know if they'll need all 6 minutes left, but they're coming along. Let's see. Renee says fresh juices, ginger is yummy and stuff too. I love ginger. And the warden says she should have minced fresh ginger for the cookies. Ooh, that would be nice. Oh man. Fermented or pickled ginger. So anyways, what's next in this box? I wish Jen Delaney was here. I gotta tell you, I think that this was good. Let's see. This was the Genius Gourmet Crispy Protein Treat, peanut butter chocolate. So, and like I said, I have some, you know, I don't worry too much if it's just 1 or 2 bad ingredients, but when it was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bad ingredients in this really small bar. Oh, hey, Jen. I did. Were your ears ringing? I was excited. I was saying I wish you were here because I was going through this stuff and complaining away. Anyways, but I do tell you, now I know why I didn't feel great, because it had the rice starch in it, and so, but oh my God, you guys, it does taste good. But listen, and And the nutritional macros on it are not that horrible, but the quality is poor. So there are better quality bars, keto or not keto, there are better quality bars. They're also lower quality. So, but yeah, okay. So this is, oh, I'm interested in this. Even if this was really terrible, we're gonna try this one. Not tonight, but we're gonna try it. Ratio keto friendly Chipotle cheddar savory nut and cheese bar. What? Front of the package is 10 grams total fat, 9 grams protein, 3 net carbs, but 2 actual sugars. The bad bar, Genius Gourmet. Carrie says I should throw it in the trash. Actually, I'm going to give it to my kid because they will have some college kid friend who is eating a bad diet anyways, and they will wolf this down and be very excited because they've got nothing, you know, so yeah. All right, please be good, I'm telling you, please be good. 1 serving size, 140 calories, 10 grams of fat, 5 total carbs, and 9 grams of protein. Almonds, so it is soy protein isolate, which is not ideal. I wish that they used any other protein that wasn't soy, but yeah. So dried cheddar cheese, which is just cultured milk, salt, and enzymes. Oh no, canola oil, buttermilk, whey, salt, soy lecithin, dried chipotle pepper, and annatto extract. So it does have bad ingredients, but it's low in the number of ingredients, and technically the bad ingredient is soy, and that's soy and the canola oil. The canola oil is pretty far down the list, and the soy is at the top because it's the soy protein isolate, so it's not that bad. It's not that good. I don't know that I would go on a binge and eat these, but I am definitely still okay with trying it. So we're going to try this later in the week because I'm very intrigued because it's a savory tasting bar. And I do believe that with enough letter writing and talking that Ratio can be made to improve their ingredients over time. Now, the reason I say that is because the only other savory bar I've seen, this is right side up. This is right side up. But the only other savory bar that I have seen is those keto bars that we get at events, and they are, I'm sorry, vomitrocious, disgusting. And so if they've made this where it's not disgusting, I gotta say. And Airfryer Annie says the Ratio Keto used to be a favorite of hers, and she thought they were better, but they weren't savory. So they've always had the soy issue, but again, when we're talking about, so are they the best quality? No. They're still a manufactured food, so that bumps them down another notch. But only a couple bad ingredients, primarily bad ingredients. One is better than the other. So if we're ranking, we're going to go like this. You know what I'm saying? Better choices. Worse, not terrible, not that terrible. See what you know what I'm saying? So think of if you're doing better than you were before, and certainly better than your average granola bar. Carrie says he wants it left side up. Sorry, too late now. Let's see. An advertisement for Ratio bars. Oh, and it has a QR code for a coupon off. Let's see. Good Sam Small Farms chocolate bar. So this is made from dark chocolate with allulose, cacao mass, cacao butter, and sunflower lecithin, salt, natural flavor. It has 11 grams of fat, And it's 2.5 servings. Oh crap, let's see. I hope these didn't burn. So I got distracted looking at complaining, and they are a little bit burnt, but not bad. They're soft, so they're gonna have to sit for a minute. Dennis, you're reminding me too soon, but that's all right. They're still good. Okay, they're pretty burnt on the bottom, but we're gonna ignore that part. Oops. I'm gonna set them on the cooling rack, which is back here. And they'll still be good enough to try, to know if we'll make them again, right? A little burnt doesn't hurt nobody. Let's see. Oh, Lisa thought the buzzer was at her house and she jumped up. Oops. So I'm gonna tell you, these are super soft and cakey and burned, but that's all right. I will eat them burned. And Carrie says he would eat the cookies even burnt because he bets they're good. We'll find out. Honestly, they just needed like 3 minutes less, which I should have known because that's what I said. I was like, they won't need the whole 6 minutes, maybe, you know. And I'm like, that's fine. So, you know, we burn the cookies, whatever. So they won't look as lovely as they should, but I will show you. Here's our lovely, slightly darkened cookies. But they would be maybe a little shade lighter. They're still going to be darker because they were the gingerbread keto chow. Let me bring one up to the camera so you can see. There you go. See, they're not as dark as they look from a distance. And we'll let them sit for a couple minutes before we crack it open to see the interior so they can settle up. Oh, Airfront Annie's wondering how cranberries would taste in a gingerbread cookie. I don't know about gingerbread. I don't know. For some reason that doesn't, I think there's a little, I don't know, maybe. I have to think about it. So, and Mary says she thinks the cookies look great. So, okay, I promise I'm really gonna let them sit for a few minutes and we'll talk about these. So this is 2.5 servings. 16 total carbs, and 2 of it is fiber, and it doesn't tell you how much of it is the allulose. Oh, wait, yes it does. 16 carbs, 2 fiber, 13 allulose. So 1 net carb per serving. Now, I'm going to tell you that while I am a big total carbs person, and if I were going to eat a serving of this, I would include the total carbs. But when it comes to allulose, I feel more forgiving about it because I don't know anyone who has blood sugar spikes from allulose, and the preliminary studies on allulose are actually showing it to be of benefit to type 1 and type 2 diabetics and actually lowering their blood sugar levels and glucose levels. And I find that whereas like if I'm eating certain things that have a lot of sweetener in it, they make me want more. And if it's allulose, it doesn't do that as much. But again, the allulose is also not as sweet. Oh, and Mama Bear is saying that she feels like the gingerbread and cranberry flavors would be competing instead of complementing each other. I just think that if you had a gentler, spicy cookie, than something like this where I threw all the spice in it, especially that 5 spice, that's what's going to compete with the cranberry too much. But if you went with more of a, if you made these cookies with like a vanilla keto chow or not a chocolate toffee, one of the, or a s'mores if you've got a s'mores left, one of those more neutral flavors, that the cranberries would go better with that. And you could add some ginger to that, you know, just like, but not so many. I think it's the cinnamon that turns me off in the idea. Oh yeah, lemon keto chow with the cranberry. Now there you go. So speaking of chocolates that cause a lot of problems for people, Chuck Zero Peppermint. This is one of the ones that I say, I know that it makes my stomach hurt real bad. But also, even though it makes my stomach hurt real bad, it's super hard to not eat a bunch of it. So, let's see. But let's see, because sometimes Chuck Zero is terrible and sometimes it's not. So, let's see. A serving size is 3 pieces, and there are 5 servings per container. 10 grams of total fat, 18 total carbs, 16 of which are fiber, 0 sugar, and 1 gram of protein. Ingredients are dark chocolate made with unsweetened chocolate and cocoa butter, non-GMO resistant dextrin, palm oil, no asterisks for being sustainably obtained, sunflower lecithin, monk fruit extract, peppermint flavor, and Madagascar vanilla beans. So the only problem with this is that the dextrin is the second ingredient behind the chocolate. And again, also, I'm a bit on the crunchy side, so that whole not being sustainably obtained palm oil gets me emotionally. So I'm like, I find Chuck Zero to be really popular, but honestly, it's like the garbage of the keto world. Their sugar syrups make a lot of people ill, and they take no responsibility for it whatsoever. And Lisa says she blew through a Chuck Zero advent calendar last year, so no more for her. I just see more and more people posting that they've got problems with Chuck Zero, and like I said, the fact that instead of saying like, I'm sorry that it impacts you, we find our recipes work well for a lot of people. We're sorry that it impacts, make sure that you're diligent in testing. Instead of saying something like that, they just double down and they're like, well, you know, it's got to be something else because our product is awesome. Oh, Air Frying Annie is asking about palm oil to the sustainably versus not. So we'll get into palm oil on another video at some point, but the palm oil is deforestation issues. So deforestation, and it's just super bad for the environment. So that's why. And Air Frying Annie says she stays away from Chuck Zero. Marianne also says Chuck Zero tastes good, but she got pyrotechnics whenever she ate it. Yes, it does that. Grain-free hot zero from Heirloom Folk Revival. So I'm interested, but let's see. It's 1 cup. It has 260 calories, 18 grams of fat, 11 total carbs, 6 are fiber, 4 are sugar alcohols, and 20 grams of protein. It's made with hemp protein powder, hemp hearts, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, erythritol, organic coconut, chia seeds, chicory root fiber, acorn flour, sea salt, and monk fruit. So everything in here is fine. Chicory root fiber, I know a lot of people get up in arms about it. And I will say in larger quantities, chicory root fiber, when it's like the first or second ingredient, I'm looking at you, Rebel Ice Cream, I do get the toots from it, and it's not very good. But in this case, chicory root fiber is all the way at the bottom, so they're using it in a proper way. So I'm willing to eat it and try it. But Jen is telling me that it was horrible. It tasted like nuts in water. Gross. Oh, well, I'm disappointed to hear that. I will try it, and knowing that, Jen, I'm gonna maybe modify the instructions on it and see how it goes. So far out of this box, try and garbage. So not looking good. My favorite though, in the whole wide world, Bros chocolates. Please don't let me down. And it is dark chocolate thins with hazelnut. Oh, fudge, man. I hate hazelnut. Attila, there's chocolates for you. I might eat one anyways just to see maybe their chocolate outweighs the taste of the hazelnut. Oh, Attila says he was watching some of Eric Westman's videos and one advice was not to eat any food with the name with keto in the name. I think that sounds like some sound advice, except for ketochow. I mean, I've tested religiously and it seems to be okay for me. So, yeah. Hey, Keto Simple. Anyways, so we've got 12 grams of total fat. 3 servings per container. A serving is 5 pieces, 28 grams. 14 total carbs, and protein is 1 gram. 7 grams of fiber, 5 are sugar alcohol. So you know how we talked about quality? Okay, from the nutrition standpoint, they sound very similar, don't they? But here we go, ingredients. Remember what we read here. Ingredients: cocoa mass, inulin, erythritol, cocoa butter, hazelnut, natural vanilla extract, stevioglycoside, and milk. That's it. So there we go. If we're ranking our ingredients, do better. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. They're in the middle. Southern recipe small batch pork rinds spicy dill. Let's see, calories are a package, 130 calories, 2 grams of carbohydrates, and 14 grams of protein. So here's the problem, is that every single one of these are no good because they put maltodextrin on their pork rinds. Hey, DeWarden, good. Look forward to seeing your video when it's out. Same for you, Keto Simple. So, but this is pork rinds, sunflower oil, salt, maltodextrin, vinegar solids, garlic powder, sugar, malic acid, citric acid, modified food starch, dill, dextrose, canola oil, natural flavor, and acetic acid. So remember how we talked about the number of bad ingredients? Like that was not like just one. Like the 4505 pork rinds, they have dextrose in it, but it's all the way at the very bottom and it's their only questionable ingredient. And they don't have 2 carbs, they have 0 carbs. So it's very, very small. But here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bad ingredients in pork rinds, which really only need very little added to them for flavoring. So yeah. Airfryer Annie is asking if I wonder how Keto Crate decides what to put in their crate. No, because I know how they decide. They decide by contacting every single manufacturer that exists and asking if they will give them products, and they charge them an advertising fee to put it in the box. So this is this is the Chalk Zero Advent Calendar, you guys. So, okay, 24 servings. It's a little late. 50 calories for each day, 5 grams of fat, 5 grams of carbs total. Milk chocolate confection, which is chocolate liquor, cocoa butter, whole milk powder, non-GMO resistant dextrin, sunflower lecithin, monk fruit extract, natural caramel flavor, Madagascar bourbon vanilla beans. So it's a little bit better than their other chocolate package, but it's not the worst. So very interesting. You know, we're gonna cut it open, even though I'm not gonna eat any this evening. I say I'm gonna cut it open. I'll bring it up so you can see the inside. Here's their advent calendar for those of you who are interested, and it's got the tree on the front, etc. So, but you notice that the chocolates in here were way less terrible than the chocolates in here. And then Airfryer Nanny says, Chalk Zero, here's an advent calendar with bad chocolates, and you have to catch up and eat several. Well, It is awfully tardy. So there's our keto crate. Oh, these cookies are lovely and cakey. Let me bring it up so you can see. Check it out, guys. So there were the video ones from Amy Snyder that were crispy. So these are cake cookies. And they worked out, other than I need to cook them a little less. Oh yeah. I can get down with these cookies. So they don't have a burnt taste, even though they're burnt on the bottom. To which I attribute to, maybe it's the allulose that I'm using on the outside, and the outside needs to not have allulose. I'm going to have to think about that. Spicy and not very sweet. Oh, I'm happy now. And we're right up on 7:30. So look at it, guys. We made tea. We went through the whole keto crate, and we made cookies. What a productive hour. I'm going to tell you about the tea a little bit, though, the fun story. So this Lapsang Souchong tea, Twinnings tea used to have some in tea bags that they sold. And it was a favorite of Winston Churchill. Like, he loved it, and that made it super popular in the United States. But at one point in time, Twinning, who buys cheap tea ingredients, got some batches of the tea that tested too high in carcinogens. So they had to discontinue it, and people got mad. Like, they were like, how dare you cancel the best tea in the whole wide world? And now, this particular tea, because the fields where the contaminated or the high carcinogen tea came from were utterly, they destroyed those. And so also supply went way down. So it's much harder to get, but the Lapsang Souchong tea that you can get now is also up a level in quality. They've really, really gotten very bougie about it. So it's back to being real nice, but it's way rare to get now. But let me just tell you, people were super mad. Ah, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Renee. Anyways, I am super pleased with these cookies. I'm a happy camper. So I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. I want you to know that I appreciate you. I think you are amazing. I'm looking forward to trying the keto ratio bar and the cereal, even though Jen told me it was disgusting. I'm hoping that I can pretend it's not disgusting, or possibly one thing I might consider doing is just using the dried ingredients and sprinkling them onto a hot keto chow. So it would, instead of being in one whole serving, it would only be a little light sprinkling. So it would be like 7 or 8 servings. We'll see. We'll check it out. You guys have a great evening. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.